The Boston Celtics topped the Chicago Bulls 111-82 here at TD Garden, fellas. Jaylen Brown had himself a night. We had Gino in the building. Yep. Jaylen Brown, 18 points, 17 points for Kyrie Irving. The type of win that we expected to see. Yeah. But, of course, I mean, that doesn't tell the whole story in terms of what happened here because, let's face it, this Bulls team was already shorthanded heading into this game, right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, this was like could not have been better scheduling. Coming off of a terrible 1-4 road trip.
It's like
sky was falling for
it's
some
like you
Celtics
wake
fans.
up, awful hangover, you just want to do nothing, and here are the Bulls.
But you could play the Bulls. Like most of us could play the Bulls hungover, and the Celtics did just that. They had their road trip hangover, and they needed a game like this. And sometimes it sounds simple, and it sounds like a simple fix, but sometimes when you're playing very poorly and you're kind of down in the dumps as a team, you need to beat up on a crappy team, and that's what the Bulls are, and that's what the Celtics did tonight.
Yeah, you need to get back in the swing of things. You know, you got knocked around a few times, maybe you got rejected, and now you come in and you actually do the rejecting.
Right.
You come in there, you hit them hard. To me, what stood out was just giving up 82 points, and I know the Bulls aren't the Warriors, but the NBA, I don't know if you guys noticed this year, is not much about defense. Teams are scoring at will, and if Brad Stevens can get these guys to play defense, they're going to win a hell of a lot more games than they're going to lose. Yeah. I mean, and I think I saw a stat that they're leading the NBA in allowing teams 90 points or fewer, and it's only 3 times. So it goes to show. I mean,
well, Brad Stevens kept pointing it out, and at practice the other day and pregame today, he said, our defensive numbers are great. It's what people tell me, but I don't think our defense is that good. And he's right.
They're deceiving, you know? And you look at the league, I mean, how many times have we seen teams score over 140 points in the first month of the regular season? I mean, I've never seen anything like it. So that's a really good point that you bring up. You know what? Brad Stevens also brought up after the game that the fact that the Celtics heading into this game sort of had an edge because of what happened on that road trip, that 5-game road trip. Celtics only won 1 game. They had that tenacity throughout the first couple of quarters. But what's most important about this game, they kept it going and carried over into the second half.
Yeah, and you saw the bench contribute a little bit there too, which wasn't always the case on the road. Again, nothing was really going well on the road. It didn't matter what it was. And tonight it all seemed to come together. And maybe that road trip is a wake-up call. I know a lot of people were saying that, but it really could serve as that. And the schedule does get easier from this point on. And this Bulls game was the tipping point. Of course, they do have Toronto.
I was going to say, minus 1 game, it gets easier.
Well, Toronto and Utah, so it's a tough weekend. But then after that, you have the likes of the Knicks, the Hawks, the Mavericks, and a couple repeated matchups with those teams in there too. So besides this weekend, it does get a little easier.
Yeah, and it was good to see the second unit really step in. I thought Tice, I don't know what's going on with the hair, but I thought he contributed
Slim Shady.
nicely.
You're not feeling it? I like it.
Eminem.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I was a little stunned by it. But hey, if it's going to work, it's going to give a little swag to the second unit. Maybe, distract the opponent a little bit one way or the other. But
that bright hair is going to distract a lot of shots.
Yeah, but overall, I would say all-around solid performance. Real quick about Kyrie, I mean, the stat line probably won't stand out 17 points, but I thought he was really good in all facets of the game.
He was, yeah.
To be honest, I thought he was decent on the road trip. I know that they didn't get the results they want, but I think that he's trending upwards and he's coming into his own for the season.
Yeah, he kind of dominated Ryan Arcidiacono, and obviously he's filling in for Chris Dunn, so it's tough, and he's got to come in and face Kyrie Irving, but he was great on the road trip scoring wise. Of course, a lot of people wanted to be more of a facilitator, whatever, but you're right, he has been good, and tonight he was efficient and he was solid once again.
Yeah, I think just this homestand is going to really help the Celtics. I mean, that was one of the first things that Jaylen Brown mentioned when he was asked, what was the difference between tonight and, what we saw throughout that road trip. And just hearing the fans and just playing in front of this home crowd makes all the difference, as we saw what Jaylen Brown was able to do. But the Celtics will move on to Toronto against the Raptors here at TD Garden. We will be here, of course. CLNS Media, we got you covered here at CLNS Media.
Hashtag CLNS Media.
CS said no.
No, I got the edit there. Tell me I got the edit there.
Oh, no.
That is.
What in the what?
Just take that last CLNS out.